Hey guys, welcome to our math lesson. Let's start by looking at our learning target. I can add within 1,000 using place value models or drawings. Let's talk about some words in here. We know a lot of words in this learning target. Let's talk about the word add. What do we know about adding? All right, we know that our total is going to be more. We're going to have a larger amount when we add. Well, what about within 1,000? What do we know about that phrase within 1,000? Yes, all the numbers from 0 to 1,000 or less than 1,000 is a number that's within 1,000. Okay? All right, what about place value? We've talked about that a lot, haven't we? Remember, place value is the value of the digits. Okay? So here we have an example. It's the value that's assigned to each digit in the position of the number. So for example, the 2 and the number 326, that 2 digit, represents two groups of 10 or 20. So the place value is the value that's assigned to the place of the digit. Now, models and drawings are something that we are familiar with, okay? Well, you know what a drawing is, right? It's if you draw it on paper and you don't have that concrete model, okay? So the model is something that you can use to build things with. And we're going to talk more about a model that you're going to be able to use to help you with this learning target today, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to be adding 3-digit numbers. Remember, that's within 1,000, okay? All right, in our Ready Math Journal, we're going to be on page 391. 391. All right, we're going to read the part at the top. It says you already know about hundreds, tens, and ones. Now you will use strategies to add 3-digit numbers. Use what you know to try to solve the problem below. So think about what you know about hundreds, tens, and ones, okay? Using what you know, we're going to see if we can answer this problem. We're going to do a 3-read on this so that we can understand what it is that the problem is asking us to do. That way, when we understand word problems, we can solve any type of problem, okay? There are 214 fish in the giant tank at an aquarium. There are 131 other sea animals in the tank. I want you to retell this problem in your own words. All right, so we have some fish in a tank, and then we have some other sea animals in the tank, okay? All right, now let's read it again. There are 214 fish in the giant tank at an aquarium. There are 131 other sea animals in the tank. How many animals live in the giant tank? We want to know how many animals there are in the giant tank. We've got to figure that out because they didn't tell us that, did they? Let's see what information they did tell us to help us figure out how many animals are in the giant tank. There are 214 fish in the giant tank at an aquarium. There are 131 other sea animals in the tank. How many animals live in the giant tank? What information do they give us here to help us solve our problem? They told us that there are 214 fish. They told us that there are 131 other sea animals in that tank, didn't they? So let's think about that number 214 and 131. To solve our problem of how many animals are in the tank, is our number going to be greater, our total number going to be greater than those two or less than those two numbers? It's going to be greater, isn't it? All right, so now what I'm going to ask you to do is I want you to pause the video and I want you to try independently using those things that you know about 3-digit numbers and seeing if you can find the total, okay, of these numbers. All right, so now that you've tried on your own, let's take a deeper look at how we could solve this problem. So let's think about part, whole. There are 214 fish in the tank, and there are 131. We're looking for the total. How many animals total live in the tank? That's the part that we don't know. So when we're trying to find a total and they give us the two parts, okay, when we want to find a larger total, what operation do we use to find that? Addition, don't we? We use that plus sign. So 214 plus 131. Okay? Now, let's use what we know about place value of the hundreds, the tens, and the ones to solve this problem. So I have for you a virtual base 10 block tool that you can use to build numbers. So we're going to look at 214, and we're going to build the number 214. How many hundreds are there in 214? There are 2 hundreds, so I'm going to take out 2 hundreds. All right, how many tens are there? There is 1 10. All right, how many ones are there? There are 4 ones. Okay, so here I have 200, 200s, 110, and 4 ones for the total of 214. But now I need to add 131. So I'm going to do the same thing that we did for 214 to 131. How many hundreds are in 131? There is 100. So I'm going to change colors to help me see those two different numbers so that it'll help me when I combine them. So I have 100. I have 3 tens. And I have 1 1. All right, so I'm going to make this bigger just so that it will give us a better visual of what we have here, okay? All right, so now I've made the number 241 and I've made the number 131. Now I'm going to combine these together. I'm going to add them together to find my total, okay? So I'm going to add my hundreds together, okay? Here I have 1, 2, 3 hundreds. Then I'm going to add my tens together. I have 4 tens. And then I'm going to add my ones together. I'm going to add these 4 over here with this one, just so that we can easily see how many ones that we have, okay? So when I combine my hundreds, I have 300 plus 4 tens plus 5 ones, which equals 345. Okay? All right, now let's go back to our problem so that we can answer our question. Okay? All right, so we had 214 plus 131. We wanted to know how many animals live in the giant tank. 345. Is this equation true? 214 plus 131 equals 345. Is that true? Yes, that is true. So now we need to answer our question. How many animals live in the giant tank? How many animals live in the giant tank? 345 animals. Okay? So how many animals live in the giant tank? 345 animals. Remember, don't forget that unit. Okay? Now, you might have chosen to do a drawing, and a drawing is pretty much the same as those tools that we use, but instead of actually making them, we could just do like a quick drawing. 200, 110, 4 ones, 100, 3 tens, 1 1. And then we could combine those. 1, 2, 3 hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4 tens, and then our 5 ones there. Okay, so this is the drawing that it's talking about. So, how many animals live in the giant tank? 345. Now, we can also use a number line here and apply what we learned last week with adding hundreds and adding tens. So here we started with 248. This is giving us a new problem, 248 plus 143. If we're at 248 and we want to get to 348, how much is the distance between there? Okay, how many numbers would we need to add to get from 248 to 348? We would add 100, wouldn't we? Okay. Now, to get from 348 to 388, what's the distance between there? How many numbers would we add? 40. All right, and then to get from 388, we need to add to find our total. So far, we've added 100 and we've added 40. So we started with 248. That was our beginning. Then we needed to add 143. So what they did was they decomposed this number into its expanded form, 100 plus 40 plus 3. So if we've already added 100 and we've already added 40, how much more do we have left that we need to add? 3 more. So what's 388 plus 3? Yes, 391. 391. So here they kept that first number whole and they added up that second number in parts, okay? This is just showing us that we have a lot of different ways that we could solve it, okay? All right, and then it says, look ahead. Do you always have to add hundreds, then tens, then ones? Why or why not? I want you to think about that question, and I want you to answer it based on what you think. Do you always have to add your hundreds together, then your tens together, and then your ones together? Why do you have to do that, or why do you not have to do that, okay? All right, guys, so Ms. Gaskins is going to post this base 10 block tool to help you as you solve the independent practice problems, okay? I am going to post this on Google Classroom so that you will be able to access it and use it, okay? Remember, our learning target is saying that we can add within 1,000 using these place value models. So it is perfectly okay to use this tool, okay? All right, guys, I can't wait to keep working on adding 3-digit numbers.